In 1983, one line changed the face of cinema forever. Clint Eastwood, as Detective Harry Callahan, looked straight at the criminal and said, "Go ahead, make my day." That moment wasn't just a movie quote. It became a symbol of power, attitude, and fearless justice. Audiences went crazy, and this single line turned into one of the most iconic quotes in movie history. Even today, decades later, "Make My Day" still echoes through pop culture, proving that sometimes one line is enough to make you legendary. Backhand index pointing right follow for more iconic movie moments explained. Clapperboard.
Prosecution. Unable to fire him because his methods get results, Callahan's superiors instead order him to take a vacation. 4 of Threlke's hitmen eventually attack him. Callahan takes down 3, while the 4th escapes. Later, the suspect from the dismissed case and his friends throw Molotov cocktails into Callahan's car. Acting in self-defense, he kills his attackers. To get Harry out of sight until the furor dies down, Callahan is sent to San Paulo. Upon arrival, Callahan chases down a robber. The reckless but successful pursuit angers the San Paulo police. While jogging with his bulldog, Meathead, Callahan accidentally runs into Spencer. On returning to his room at a motel, he is targeted by the surviving Threlke's hitman, who is killed by Callahan. Meanwhile, Spencer kills Kruger, a second rapist. Callahan recognizes the modus operandi, but Lester Jennings, San Paulo's police chief, refuses to work with him. Callahan learns both victims are friends of Jennings' son, Albie. Ray Parkins, the female member of the gang of rapists, figures out they're being targeted and warns the 2 remaining men, Tyrone and Mick. At an outdoor cafe, Callahan meets Spencer again. Over drinks, he learns that she shares his emphasis on results over methods when seeking justice, but he adds the caveat, till it breaks the law. Callahan reveals that he is investigating Wilburn's murder, which rattles SV. Callahan and Spencer meet again and sleep together. On his way back to the motel, Callahan notices her car, which he had seen earlier at Parkins' place. Returning there, he finds Parkins' body. 2 of Mick's friends bail him out of jail. Meanwhile, Callahan's partner Horace arrives at the motel to celebrate the easing of tensions in San Francisco. He meets Mick and his henchmen, instead, who have been waiting to spring an ambush. Mick's gang kills Horace and neuters Meathead with a switchblade. They then beat up Callahan before throwing him off a pier, presuming he will drown. Spencer arrives at the Jennings home with the intention of killing Albie, another one of the rapists. To her surprise, Albie, like her sister, is catatonic. A guilty conscience caused him to attempt suicide, which left him with permanent brain damage. To protect his own reputation and his only child, Jennings refused to jail the guilty parties. He convinces Spencer to spare Albie's life and promises Mick will be punished. Mick and his henchmen, however, arrive and capture Spencer, using her gun to kill Jennings. Enraged at what happened to Horace and Meathead, Callahan goes after Mick's gang with his .44 auto mag. The gang brings Spencer to the boardwalk for another rape, but are startled by Callahan's apparent return from the dead. Callahan chases Mick after killing his henchmen. Mick drags Spencer to the top of a roller coaster, where she breaks free. Callahan shoots Mick, who falls from the top of the coaster, crashes through the glass roof of the carousel below, and is impaled on the horn of its unicorn. Before the local cops arrive, Harry considers arresting Spencer. She, however, convinces him that her actions against the rapists were justified. The police arrive and find Spencer's .38 on Mick. Ballistics, Callahan states, will prove that his gun was used in all the killings. Callahan and a vindicated Spencer leave the crime scene together. Callahan and Spencer meet again and sleep toget. The script was initially written by Charles B. Pierce and Earl E. Smith for a separate film for Locke, but was later adapted into a Dirty Harry film by Joseph Stinson. Filming occurred in spring 1983. Many of the film scenes were filmed in San Francisco and Santa Cruz, California. 6. The scene where Harry chases a bank robber in the downtown business district offers a rare glimpse of the area before it was devastated by the Loma Prieta earthquake of October 17, 1989. Footage for the robbery in Acorn Cafe was shot at Burger Island, later a McDonald's and now the site of a hotel, at the corner of 3rd and Townsend in San Francisco. 7. Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk was the amusement park where the climactic scene was filmed. 8. At this point in his career, Eastwood was receiving a salary that included 60% of all film profits, leaving the other 40% for the studio. Estimates had Eastwood earning $30 million for Sudden Impact. It was Locke's last film to be widely released. 9. Perpetuating a career-long pattern that saw her playing protagonists much younger than herself. At 39, Locke was older than the group of actors cast as the rapists and 21 years older than the youth catcalling her near the start of the movie. She was 6 years older than Audrey Neenan, though the character of Parkins is clearly meant to be older than Spencer. Moreover, the actress who played Locke's sister was 11.5 years her junior. Sudden Impact is the 3rd film of the series to be scored by Lalo Schifrin. Jerry Fielding was in charge of the music on the previous film, criticized the film, stating, "The screenplay is ridiculous, and Mr. Eastwood's direction of it primitive, which is surprising because he has shown himself capable in such films as The Outlaw Josie Wales and The Gauntlet." Among other things, the movie never gets a firm hold on its own continuity. Sometimes scenes of simultaneous action appear to take place weeks or maybe months apart. 17. Roger Ebert was more positive, a war. Noted that everything is pitched for maximum action impact, so audiences should feel they got their money's worth, but also thought that the action scenes put too much reliance on characters, particularly Harry, being in the right place at the right time. 19. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune gave the film 2 stars out of 4 and wrote that nothing in the Dirty Harry sequels has ever come close to the evil Scorpio in its portrayal of a bad guy. Because of that, they're lesser films. We never feel that Harry is in any real danger. 20. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times slammed the film as the exploitation picture at its most nakedly manipulative, which doesn't just exploit sex and violence, but also audience prejudices toward minorities. True, Callahan's partner, played by Albert Popwell, is black, but he's around only briefly. That it exploits with sleek cinematic skill, not to mention a great deal of righteousness, makes it all the more reprehensible. 21. A negative review from Pauline Kael in The New Yorker remarked that the film might be mistaken for parody if the sledgehammer slow pacing didn't tell you that the director, Eastwood, wasn't in on the joke. 22. Legacy. Edit. Sudden Impact is best remembered for Harry's catchphrase, "Go ahead, make my day." United States President Ronald Reagan used the "Make my day" line in a March 1985 speech threatening to veto legislation raising taxes. 5. 23. When campaigning for office as mayor of Carmel by the Sea, California, in 1986, Eastwood used bumper stickers entitled "Go Ahead, Make Me Mayor," noted that everything is pitched for maximum action impact, so audiences should feel they got their money's worth, but also thought that the action scenes put too much reliance on characters, particularly Harry being in the right place at the right time. 19. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune gave the film 2 stars out of 4 and wrote that nothing in the Dirty Harry sequels has ever come close to the evil S.
In 1983, one line changed the face of cinema forever. Clint Eastwood, as Detective Harry Callahan, looked straight at the criminal and said, "Go ahead, make my day." That moment wasn't just a movie quote. It became a symbol of power, attitude, and fearless justice. Audiences went crazy, and this single line turned into one of the most iconic quotes in movie history. Even today, decades later, "Make My Day" still echoes through pop culture, proving that sometimes one line is enough to make you legendary. Backhand index pointing right follow for more iconic movie moments explained. In 1983, one line changed the face of cinema forever. Clint Eastwood, as Detective Harry Callahan, looked straight at the criminal and said, "Go ahead, make my day." That moment wasn't just a movie quote. It became a symbol of power, attitude, and fearless justice. Audiences went crazy, and this single line turned into one of the most iconic quotes in movie history. Even today, decades later, "Make My Day" still echoes through pop culture, proving that sometimes one line is enough to make you legendary. Backhand index pointing right follow for more iconic movie moments explained. Clapperboard.